am also grateful for Randy Travis. He's a good guy and a good musician. Play a short song, kind of like an oral palate cleanser to help center us to hear whatever we need to be hearing for today. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are your New Year's evolution going? Is it going well? My day got a lot better because I'm here now. I haven't been able to sleep the past couple of nights. Anyone else having any challenges? Okay, a couple other people. Not that I'm thinking about anything in particular. There's just, it's your subconscious is kind of going full speed. And you want to tell it to go to sleep. And then this morning, I was reaching up in my cabinet. Every morning, I make a green smoothie with a bunch of greens and berries and coconut, the almond milk. So I was reaching up, and a plastic tumbler decided to jump out at me. It was so happy, and it hit me right on here. And so I thought, really? And as soon as I hooked my microphone up, I heard my stomach grumbling like a didgeridoo. I guess the juice wasn't enough. So my morning's a lot better. Like Reverend Bonnie said, we've been covering the 4 first chapters of the Science of Mind textbook, this big tome here. This guy was prolific. He wrote a lot. Wonderful to watch the way his mind worked. So the first 2 chapters, Bonnie covered all on her own because she's an overachiever. The first 2 chapters were the thing itself and the way it works. Larry covered what it does, and today I'll be speaking on how it works. Now, what's this thing? What's this it we're all talking about here, this it? Well, Ernest Holmes, in the very first page after the credits and everything in the Science of Mind textbook, this is what he has in there. It says, "These lessons are dedicated to the truth, which frees man and woman from themselves and sets him or her on a pathway of a new experience, which enables him or her to see through the mist to the eternal and changeless reality." That's what it's talking about right there. He's talking about the truth. So this it that we're talking about, essentially, we're saying that we have a conscious mind that operates within a subjective field, and that field is creative. So this conscious mind is spirit, and the field is the law. And they complement each other, and one can't exist really individually without a combination of both of them. All seek some relationship to the universal mind, the oversoul, as Emerson called it, or the eternal spirit that we choose to call God. And there's a power in the universe that honors our faith in it. I love that line. There's a power in the universe that honors our faith in it. And there is a law in the universe which exacts, as he calls it, the uttermost farthing, or another way to say that, every last penny. How does it work? Well, it's working right now. It's working right now. Your conditions, your life, how you're experiencing your life right now is proof that it's already working. So what our goal, I guess you could call it, as the practitioner of this way of believing and acting, is to go ahead and connect with it so that it's not acting on a passive basis, but it's acting on a more active basis. And that's what I'll be talking about. It's always working for us, always. The way I like to think of it, it's working, but our challenge is to rise up to meet it, to elevate our consciousness to meet it already working. And the way we do that, the example I like to give is we're rising up to meet the headwaters of a great river. Not the Rio Grande in recent years, but unfortunately, but a great river like the Nile or the Mississippi. And I've been to the headwaters of the Mississippi, and I've been to where it empties into the ocean. And, it's always working. It's always flowing. It's always going. This it that we're talking about is doing the exact same thing. Our goal is to try to rise up to meet it. And hopefully by the end of my talk, you'll be able to know how to do that. Think of the Saguaro National Forest or the redwoods in California. Anyone been to those beautiful redwoods? Oh, they're incredible. If you touch them and they feel like the skin of a huge elephant or an ancient dinosaur. They feel so alive. And think of the beauty of white sands or the petroglyphs and the ruins out at Chaco Canyon. Or when we went up to Canyon de Chelly, that was pretty awesome. Just really incredible stuff. But these are all things that are already there. It's just that we're not aware of them until we know about them. And once we know about them, we're aware of just how majestic and moving and spiritual they are. It's like nature. Nature's simply waiting for our recognition of it. That's why I spend as much time as I can in nature. So much so, and that's the law of nature. There are different laws in the universe. The law of attraction, the law of gravity, the law of physics, the law of relativity. This law we're talking about, exact same thing. It's just a creative law that we project into and manifest what we experience through that. Some people come to our desert and they say, God, what a wasteland, It's so barren. How do you live here, And we say, go back to New England now. Nothing against New Englandites. I fully support the Patriots. And I hope they can keep the right pressure in their footballs this coming Sunday. Anyway, so when people come here and they say, how do you live here? It's so barren. There's nothing here. Until we point out the way the rain smells of creosote, just before it rains. And we know, it's that creosote smell. And then we point out the tracks of the rattlesnake. And we point out the den of the fox or the coyote. Or we say, look how the barrel cactus always points true south, because that's what they do. Or we say, did you hear that? That's a red-tailed hawk. Or we point out the way that a roadrunner coos. Have you ever heard a roadrunner coo? It's so mournful, And then they go eat a little baby bird, and it all changes. I've seen them. It's disgusting. And we point out the stillness of our mountains against an azure sky. And then they go, I had no idea there was so much life here. I had no idea there was so much beauty, so much going on. And it's only because we've made them aware of it. So this is how this power is actually working right now, right here and now, waiting for our recognition, waiting for our relationship with it. That's how it works. On that same token, we're rewarded and we're punished by our understanding or our ignorance of the law. We keep experiencing the same things in our life and think, why does this keep happening to me? Well, we're happening to it. We're bringing, but we know better, don't we? Because we're here, obviously. But we know better because we've been healed by the numbness of grief and illness. And we've transcended poverty and lack. We, as practitioners who understand the way this law works, we don't hope, we believe. We don't wish, we know. We don't want, we expect. We have an expectancy of good at any given moment, any situation that you go into. You must have that expectancy of good. I'm on the road a lot, and I'm just always grateful when I'm going through places like Houston. Anybody driven through Houston? Boy. But I say I expect traffic to be smooth, no obstructions, and sure enough, that's how it turns out most of the time. Not this last time when I was coming back, right, Tony? When I was out in Florida in November, I took my friend Tony. He was my designated Sherpa. And so we were trying to navigate a shortcut through Houston, and we ended up on a loop going to, I don't even know where it went to. It went up through Bastrop and towns I'd never heard of, and I started looking at the gas tank. Then I started to hear banjos play, and I thought, okay, time to turn around, you know. This original spirit that we're talking about, this it, the way we understand it, the way that Ernest Holmes talked about it, this original spirit is harmony, it's truth, it's beauty, and everything that goes with that ultimate reality. The universe is not divided against itself. That's just not the way that this particular time that we're in, this universe that we enjoy the abundance of, it's not divided against itself. It simply can't be. Therefore, we cannot be divided from this power, from this source, from this it. When you change the consciousness, the false condition disappears. What am I talking about when I say the false condition? Where do conditions happen? We say, oh, they're happening here, they're happening out here. Actually, they're happening here, they're happening in here. When we're experiencing something, we're experiencing it in our consciousness. So when we change that consciousness, well, that false condition will always disappear, because conditions, they're not entities. We are the entities. They don't have the power and support behind them that we do, which is nice. So let's give some practical example of what I'm trying to talk about, see if this will help. Let's say you find yourself broke, in lack, what you might want to call poverty consciousness, a poverty state of being, and you want to change that. I mean, why wouldn't you want to change it? But how do you do it? So you might be saying, all this theory stuff is great, and all these fancy words you're using are great, but, you know, as the saying goes, show me the money, you know? Show me the money, Randy. So, well, this is how I would do it. This is how I did do it. Let me see, in 2000, what year is this? 15? So my partner passed from cancer in 2011 in March. And I was the executor for that estate, and it was a challenge. I had to quit working to be a caregiver. I canceled the tours. I canceled the new album that I just released. I was going to promote it. So everything kind of shifted. So I think like I've told you in the past, I went through all of those major life stressor changes all in 6 months. So by the time that I was settling the estate and trying to find my way back into being a musician, trying to insinuate myself back into that world, because in the music business, if you're gone 6 months, who are you again? So you have to work up to it. So I went through all the money that I had, and I was waiting for the estate money to be transferred so that I could reimburse myself. And the day that the financial advisor, just an angel, who helped me through it all, the day she called me and said, "Are you sitting down?" And I said, "No, but I will," you know. And she said, "It finally transferred." I said, "Do you know how much I have in my bank account?" She said, "How much?" I said, "I have $52. That's it, you know. No savings, no, nest egg or anything. But so I went from absolutely nothing to I connected with this power to where now I tour, I'm a professional musician. Not only am I back on the charts, I'm nominated for the most prestigious award in the broadcasting industry. I'm nominated for the Native American Music Awards, New Mexico Music Awards. This is not to brag or anything. I'm up there, number 12 on the charts. I did this. I did this by using this power. That's how I accomplished it, because I knew all these conditions were not my reality. I said, "You're not my reality." So I shifted it all. And so can you. And it doesn't have to be about money. It can be about your health. It can be about maybe relationships. It doesn't matter. It's a very impersonal power. So this is how you would do it. You go back to the basics, and you remember that conditions are experiences in consciousness. You have to look at poverty or whatever in the face and say, "You're not a thing, you're not a person, you have no power, and certainly not over me." then you affirm that this is not part of your reality, that the spirit that is back of everything, as Ernest Holmes would often say, it imposes no limitations, no lack, no divisiveness, no challenges, no hardship. If you look at the universe, there are more stars than we know how to possibly count. There are more species on this planet that we know about. Trillions of cells in our body, every single moment, working and working and working. That's abundance. So you say to yourself, that's not my reality. My reality is one of freedom and liberty, because truly this life force that we're talking about is one of liberty and of freedom. What is freedom and liberty? What is wealth? Well, wealth is being able to do what you want, when you want, and with whom you want. And if you can do that, you're wealthy. You're wealthy. Warren Buffett, he's absolutely one of my heroes, believe it or not. He lives in the same house he's lived in for 30 years. He drives a 12-year-old car. Man could have anything, but he feels so rich and so wealthy that it's just an inspiration. You have to watch some of his YouTube videos. He'll just blow you away. Of course, sometimes he talks way over my head, but that's okay. I just stand a little taller. So you have to say, my ultimate reality is one of freedom and liberty, and that I enjoy anything and everything that I can have. You know, but like now you might be saying, but my car needs repairs, I'm in debt, and you'll feel these doubts and fears come knocking, creeping back in, like bad neighbors who come in through your back door and never knock. You know, we've all had those kind. You're here? So shut the door. You know? Lock the door to those doubts. Lock the door to those fears. They're not part of your reality. What it takes is a dedication, a daily practice, a daily commitment, and a daily conviction that says, I am one with all the abundance that there is. I am one with all the freedom, all the liberty that there is. Use whatever words mean something to you, you know. But every day you have to do that. You have to simply deny. Now, we're going to go into a little murky area, but you have to deny. Don't even give your attention to poverty, to stories of hardship. It's not that we're saying that they don't exist. We're just saying they're not part of the ultimate reality of life and liberty. This is not what did we really? Do you think you came into this life to be poor? Do you think you came in to suffer? Well, if you think that, then that's, of course, going to be your experience. But it's a beautiful and it's an abundant universe. And like say that you've shifted, and every day you're affirming, you're meditating, you're doing whatever you need to do to convince yourself you're part of this limitless, infinite reality, and it supports you in everything that you do. Then you come across your friends, and they're kvetching, and they're saying, oh, life is so hard, oh my gosh, you know, the rich are just greedy, and they get everything. It's not that you have to say, shut up, and you don't have to tell them anything. Well, you can if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. What you can do is silently know that your consciousness is so toned, so exercised at this point, that you can not even be moved, not even be wavered by that kind of thought, by those kind of words. And you can even affirm for them, their reality is actually one of limitless freedom and liberty and abundance and love. And why wouldn't it be? The power that we're talking about, it's not selective. It doesn't say to one person, I like you better, so I'm going to give you $1 million, and I'm going to give you a debt of $1 million. It doesn't do that. We do that with our not understanding how it's actually working. So you heard Doug talk about, he used the word treatment just a little earlier. When we do a treatment, and if you want to learn more about it, just go to the bookstore there, and there's so many great things. Or the Science of Mind newsletter is actually really good. You have copies back there, yeah. That's a great way to get started. Watch our YouTube videos. Randy tapes all of these, and Skip records them on CD, so they're all available there in the bookstore. Let me accelerate this here. Really, it's a case of knowing that this power, this it, is working all the time, and why not let it work for you, for a change? And how we use it is we connect with it. We connect with it, we have a relationship with it, we connect with it when we're in nature is a great way to connect with it. We connect with it when we meditate on a regular basis, when we pray, however you practice. That's when you're actually connecting with that stillness and that reading that Doug had a little earlier. There's a part of you that has never been disturbed or powerless or weak. It's just waiting for your recognition to say, oh, there you are. I'm one with you. You're one with me. Let's have a great relationship. Let's work together. But you really do have to have kind of an unwavering belief that it can work and that it is working. Ernest Holmes said that we suffer, not always suffer, but we're part of a race consciousness. And what he meant by that was the human race, the human species. He didn't mean skin color. But he's talking about, we've been evolving between 2 and 6 million years. This is how long we've been on this planet as humans. A lot of that stuff is passed down. That fear is passed down, that you're going to take something from me. You want something from me. I have to protect what's mine so you don't take it. So we have a lot to overcome. We have a lot to transcend. I saw on the news this morning that there's a shark it's called a thresher, I think like a shredder shark. It's a pretty scary looking creature. It's 80 million years old, and they just found one off the coast of Australia, and it was the scariest looking thing. I wouldn't want to encounter that in a pool. I'm glad the Rio Grande doesn't have water in it. So, surely fear is at the core of all suffering, but we do replace that fear daily with a belief in plenty, a belief in harmony, a belief in ease, that this life is meant to be easy and good and loving and abundant. But we really do have to rise to that level. It's just waiting for you to commune with it, waiting for you to get in touch with it, waiting for you to recognize it, to feel it. It works for us by flowing through us. That's how it works. This power is working for us by flowing through us. We just need to open up that spigot and let it happen. Let's do some meditation now. Focus your awareness on your breath now. Breathe in to the count of 5. And exhale to the count of 5. See if you can feel that power that we're talking about this morning in your hands. Feel the beautiful life that's happening right now in your body, in your cells. Connect with it. Give all your attention right now to your left hand. Feel it, see it in your mind. Now give your attention to your right hand. Feel the life force pulsing through all of those trillions of cells and atoms. See it in your mind, feel it. And bring your awareness down to the very soles of your feet. Imagine there are roots from the soles of your feet connecting deep into Mother Earth, grounding you, drawing that energy up. Realize we're all on a beautiful, life-sustaining planet, on a journey through space of magnificence. We're perfect distance from the sun that we need to survive. We have a perfect moon that regulates our oceans, giving life. We have a perfect weather system that sometimes even brings us snow here in the desert Southwest. And it's glorious. In this moment, know that all of your needs are being met. Everything you could ever need is yours right now, because you're able to sit here in a beautiful building, in a beautiful congregation in the heart of Las Cruces, New Mexico. And you're connected to everyone in this room, everyone in this city, everyone in this state and country and planet, all having individual journeys, but powered by one power, one spirit. Now think of one thing you would like to see, you would like to experience in this coming week. Think of one really good thing you would like to experience in this coming week. It can be as detailed or not as you want, but really feel how you will feel when you experience this one really good thing. Could be a call from a grandchild, a letter from a friend, an email, a raise at work, some unexpected time off with pay, or some citrus fruit that David brought us out in the lobby there. Such abundance meets you everywhere, every single day. Simply become aware of it and be grateful. So as you put your mind on this one thing that is happening, see yourself saying thank you, expressing gratitude, appreciation in whatever way that you want to. And now simply release that into mind, into the universe, like one of those candle paper lanterns that float up. Just let it go. And then simply say, and so it is. And so it is. Thank you.